Sabah everybody and welcome back. Today we're going to take a look at a massive case collection made specifically for the S22 Ultra as well as the S22, but they do have cases for the S22 Plus, but I just don't have that phone with me right now. The biggest thing that I'll probably say is that you're going to see the largest selection in any single video of cases made for these devices, providing you protection from all the way to rugged, to thin, to see-through, kickstand, a whole bunch of things. I'm also going to talk to you guys a little bit about the original cases from Samsung that was released at the same time as these devices. Without further ado, we're going to check out original Samsung cases, encased cases, VRS design, Poetic, as well as Terrazas cases. So a lot of cases to cover. Let's start. This is TK. This is the S22 series case collection. Like and subscribe and make sure you hit that bell icon so that you're always notified to whenever we have new videos on the channel. So these are all the cases that I have today in the office, and again, they're all made for the S22 series of devices. Now they're specifically designed for the S22 and the S22 Ultra, mostly because those are the two versions of the device that I have. So they're both in green, very nice, and of course I have that nice protection here. That's from a separate video, but the overall experience here that we get is essentially the best protection available for our devices, with original cases and of course other provider cases to provide us different experiences. You can go from ultra, functional cases, ultra rugged, here with Poetic as well, and of course original design and of course very unique characteristics with the Samsung cases. And last but not least is the Terrazas cases that we have here. These are also very nice and will provide us again a different experience. Okay, we're going to start off with the cases from Terraz. There's basically three different designs technically, but again available for many different things. So we have a clear case here. This is going to be the diamond clear one. There's also going to be the shockproof one. This one has a more of a matte finish. There's also the Terraz Mars Climber. This is the Mars, kind of like a version of this case and that case, but with a kickstand. So they're calling it the Mars Climber. And here we have basically the see-through or the clear case, and this one's called the Moon Climber because again, it's very nice and clear. So overall, very straightforward. This one has a kickstand. Again, it'll be available for both the S22 and the S22 Ultra as well as the Plus. Inserting it is very straightforward. You just insert your phone into it and it looks really nice, very clean. Now, I already had a protection cover here on the glass, and this is definitely working here because it works right away with the frame. It does provide us a raised lip here directly on the device, on the top, an opening for the microphone, covered buttons here on the side, but an opening on the bottom. The SIM tray is not available, but you have the microphone, the USB-C, and the bottom firing speaker to give us the stereo speakers. Now, you'll also notice that I have a glass protector installed here, so this is also going to be really good to show you guys that all of these cases, whatever I'm using, if it does not work with the glass protector, we're definitely going to see that. The kickstand is very nice, very solid, and it does actually work in a couple of orientations. So we're able to put our phone sideways to be able to enjoy content. And I can imagine it's strong enough, and as it is, you can also have it more in that format if you want to be able to record video, video conference, or do anything like that with the phone. Looks really nice, works very nicely, and of course, last but not least, as we always do, should be perfectly fine with wireless charging. I'll give it a second. And as you see there, wireless charging, not a problem. Again, so this one's called the Moon Climber. It will be available for different devices. The big thing that I'll probably say is just keep in mind the different designs that we have. So we're going to jump over here to, actually let's use this one since technically this is a combination. Again, still somewhat of a smoky back. You are able to insert this here. If you have these covers from like any manufacturer, just be careful when you're inserting it in here. Insert it first at the top, and as you can see, it works perfectly with it. It does provide some raised coverage here around the back, around the lens element. Covered power button and volume rocker, opening here at the top, opening at the bottom. Access, of course, to the S Pen, which again is going to be the nice functional part here, the S22 Ultra, and it looks nice. Now, because it's a smoky back with the green color on my device, it looks kind of like more of a darker green, but should be perfectly fine. Let's go ahead and try wireless charging. As you can imagine, it should be perfectly fine in there as well. And there we are, 99%, 1 minute till full, works out great. So those are the cases that we see here directly from Terraz. As I mentioned to you guys, there is the clear one. That one's going to work the exact same. The coverage on the back is going to be just a little bit tricky if you have one of these protectors on them. If you don't have one of these, it should not be an issue. So when you're putting it in, put it from the top and then try to stretch it over, and it'll fit perfectly on the lens element and provide you the best protection. This one does have the kickstand as we saw before, same situation. Put it down, sideways, and of course if we want to watch vertical, this is going to work as good. One thing I will mention though, that the shockproof design does actually come with a few extra pieces here to be able to accent the colors of the power and the volume rocker. The other cases do not, so what you're able to do here essentially is just push out this button and be able to replace it directly with one of the extra ones that you get in here. So definitely a nice little addition, and this one only comes with the shockproof As far as the case itself, it is very similar to the one we saw before. The only difference is we just don't have the kickstand here. Moving on to the next brand. This is the VRS design collection. All of these cases are designed for the S22 Ultra, although they do provide cases for the S22 as well as the S22 Plus. So on the left here, we're going to start off with the TerraGuard. This is going to be the most rugged version of it. On the second one that we have next to that is going to be the, here we have it, is the QuickStand Pro. This one has a actually built-in stand. It's actually present in the center of the device, not at the bottom. Next, we're going to go with the clear option, so that this is the TerraGuard Crystal Clear. That's going to be the next one available here. And then, of course, last but not least, is the Glide Pro. This one includes a pocket for you to be able to put your credit card and basically like essentially just a small currency, but it's small enough to actually fit on the back of your phone. The last but not least one is going to be the biggest one here. This one is called the Glide Hybrid Back. This one provides us the ability of having not only the slide functionality of this case, but it also includes the kickstand. So it's a little bit thicker, but it comes with a lot of functionalities. Let's go ahead and open them up. Okay, the first one is the TerraGuard. Now this one seems like it's a two-piece case. You can see right there, it's two separate pieces, but essentially it's going to look like the most ruggedized case for our S22 Ultra or the Note 22 Ultra. Again, inserting it pretty straightforward. You put it in, it has coverage for the volume rocker, the power button, an opening for the microphone at the top. It is absolutely raised above here with the lenses on the back. And of course, even on the front, you'll notice there's a little bit of a lip there on the front as well as on the bottom. Now, also, I'm still using the case protector that we started off from the beginning from Whetstone Dome Glass, so this is going to work great. Opening at the bottom for both the microphone, the connection, as well as the speaker. And this one actually has a much more easier way of injecting the SIM tool. The only thing I'm worried a little bit about is more about the fact that it's a little bit open, but it does have a little bit of a raised lip here, and of course raised on the back. So it should still provide us a better, very good protection on it in case of a drop. VRS is on the back, and of course looks really, really nice. Last but not least, of course, let's go ahead and put it in on top of the wireless charger. Should not be an issue at all, as again, a lot of these cases will work. I will say that when we get to these cases, we're probably going to have some concerns. Okay, works perfectly there. Now, the see-through one, pretty much the same experience. The only difference is this one actually is a see-through cover, and you can see the color on your phone. So very good for protection, very thick on both sides, raised camera section, as well as the lip on the front for protection, and it works great with this glass protector. Bottom openings and everything looks great. It should have no problem with the wireless charging. This one's even thinner. So for a really nice look, to enjoy the color of your phone, I feel like this one, the VRS, and this one's called, if I'm not mistaken, the TerraGuard Crystal Clear. So a clear cover for a very nice way to enjoy our colors. Now, the next case we're going to take a look at is part of a collection. If you think about it, this one is the one with the kickstand. This one is the one with the opening slot on the side. And then the last one we have here is essentially the exact same case between the two that gives us the sliding functionality as well as the ability of using a kickstand. So definitely very nice, very functional. Unfortunately, these two on the side, because of the raised back and the open slots to be able to put cards, wireless charging is not functional here, as well as possibly impacting NFC functionality. So keep in mind, more functional, although there is some limitation when it comes to wireless. Keep in mind, though, of course, wire charging is going to be always the best connection for you. But let's go ahead and do the QuickStand Pro. This one is in black, and again, it does include this little kickstand in the back that also does prop up. So you'll notice right there, we can actually use it. It is thinner, and I hope that the wireless charging still works. Inserting our device should be pretty simple, straightforward. Just make sure that if you do have this camera protection, to actually kind of push it down here so that you get the full flat experience. Volume rocker, power button covered. There is a raised section here for the cameras in the back. On the top, we have an opening for the microphone. Same thing at the bottom. And again, as I mentioned to you guys, we have the kickstands on the bottom. Now, the kickstand does have a little bit of lip here. It does not sit automatically, so if you open it, it doesn't go. You do need to bring that up and then make sure that it's flat. And at this point, your phone is ready to be used in this format. But unfortunately, since it's so high, it does not work in the orientation of just standing up the phone. So overall experience, more of a flat, enjoying content. Let's go ahead and try out the wireless charging. I'm hoping that this one works. Again, keep in mind the other two I know for sure don't. Historically, they've never done. It seems like wireless charging on all of these cases are unfortunately not going to be supported. So you're getting more rugged functionalities, you're getting a better case, but you are losing, unfortunately, on a small part of the functionality when it comes just to wireless charging. Everything else still works. The cameras are there, everything works, the wire charging, all of that good stuff works there. Now, the next two cases are exactly the same. Again, they both feature the opening on the back and the ability of using them to store credit cards and so on. Now, keep in mind, wireless will not work on this, so I'm going to go ahead and actually go for the one that showcases not only the open back, but again, also the kickstand that we have. This one's actually more aligned with the device, so I'm hoping that it'll also give us the ability of using it at a standing position. So inserting your phone, pretty straightforward. Go ahead and insert it in, push it. It's a little bit thicker at the base because of the extra mechanism mechanism that we have at the top. But overall, once you have that in there, you'll notice raised lip. There is a little bit of a ramp up here to get to the back, because this one houses this nice little compartment. It is spring loaded. You are able to open it and close it with one hand. And you also have the kickstand that you can actually pretty much just set at this point. So one thing to keep in mind, it does work standing up in this format, although I feel like it's still top heavy. My recommendation obviously is to sit it sideways. I think those are mostly the configurations that they use. Kick the little option here down and snap it down and you're pretty much set. Opening it up, put a couple of credit cards in there. You can see here there's a logo for 2 cards. So a credit card and an ID. When you're going out, this is going to be perfect, and it keeps everything on your phone. One thing to keep in mind, again, wireless charging on all 3 of kickstand, open wallet, and of course this one with the kickstand and the wallet. Unfortunately, it does not work, but have access to the full port here at the bottom, microphone, and of course full access here for the S Pen. And one of the reasons why I like this here, even though it's bigger, we still have the ability of actually getting the S Pen very, very nicely and very simply. The next few cases that we're going to take a look at are made by Poetic Cases, and each one of these cases, with the exception of this one, this is the smaller one made for the S22, provides us 2 options of protection. One is a full case protection, so this one, if you take it out of the box, the wrapping obviously is making sure everything is good. The only thing that you want to keep in mind is that this one does include an actual protector on the front. So it's a 2-piece case that's already pre-assembled. You do need to separate it at the hinge level here at the top to be able to get it in. But this one does include a case, and it also includes an adhesive around the fingerprint sensor. So you'll notice right there it says peel off, so that when you're putting it on, this will sit right on top of the fingerprint sensor, providing us more of a 0 distance between the display and the actual protector. The only thing about this, unfortunately, since I already have a glass protector that's already installed on here, this is not necessarily going to work the best. So it's not a bad issue for us though, because they also do include a kind of like an option to be able to use it without the screen protector, but still get the ruggedized configuration. So this one's going to be obviously the best situation. You put this on top of your phone and you actually just set it up ahead of time. So you notice right there provides that lip configuration protection at the front, and it also encloses the actual case or the phone itself. So at this point, all you need to do is remove the top, and this is going to be the external part. Again, this is you could use this if you wanted. If you don't have a glass protector, just make sure to peel this piece off before you use it. And then once you're ready, you're pretty much set. Insert the case to the front end, and then of course start inserting it to the back. And once you have your device, it actually looks really good. And keep in mind, I am using my glass protector that's already built in here, and it works perfectly with this case. The rim around works really nice, and of course protection on all sides. The lenses are elevated and protected on the back, although keep in mind, if you have something like this from Whitestone or other companies, it's not going to work with this case. So you do need to remove those on the back. As far as the top, we have an opening for the microphone. On the bottom, we have a door over the USB-C and the microphone, so keep that in mind if you're recording video, to open up the gasket at the bottom. Speaker opening as well as access to the S Pen is going to be perfectly fine here, as it is, again, providing us protection at the top and the sides and the back, but opening enough that we can actually do this and then just pull the S Pen very, very easily. So very good, looks really nice. It's a clear back, so we can definitely enjoy the back on our phone. Let's go ahead and turn on wireless charging, which should not have any problems, as this is a thick case, but it also provides us access to wireless charging. So perfectly fine. Again, this one is available in a couple of options, with and without the actual cover. This is a more of a plastic screen protector, as opposed to what we have on mine right now is a glass protector. Now, the biggest difference between these 2 cases obviously is that the second design that we have here from Poetic, it offers us a kickstand that offers us the ability of basically setting up our phone standing up or sideways for configuration. So this will definitely work much better, but it also offers us the same exact configuration with and without the screen protector. Now, when it comes down to the S22 Ultra, again, very supporting, very exact same similar experience. So you just basically align it, and you'll notice that where the opening on the top is essentially going to be where your earpiece is going to be. Once you align this, obviously it encloses the entire case. You have the option of using, again, either the see-through, or you can also go with the one with the kickstand. So since we did the see-through on the other one, we're actually going to go ahead and do the kickstand on this one, so that we can kind of see both configurations working at 100%. So we'll go ahead and put this one on. If you do have the need to remove it, there is a little bit of a nail section here. You can push it in to be able to remove it, but otherwise this one actually works with the glass protector on the back that I have from Whitestone. Seems to be great. Opening for the LED, of course, very thin power button, volume rocker, of course, opening for the microphone at the top. On the bottom, similar case, it does cover the bottom portion of here, which is the USB-C, as well as one of the other microphones. So make sure you open it if you're recording audio to get the best experience for video recording. And of course, bottom fire and speaker. As far as the wireless charging, again, very similar to the other case. We'll go ahead and put this on. and it should work absolutely the same. This is, again, not that big a difference between the first one and this one, and there it is, wireless charging. Now, the big difference, again, as I mentioned, this one does have a kickstand, so you just go ahead and snap it on, make sure it's set up. And what I like about this one, which is different than the others, it has an opening on the bottom that gives me the ability of holding the phone through it. So this becomes kind of like a pop socket configuration. But if I don't want to use it this way and I want to basically just put it on the table, it's going to work just the same. So let me go ahead and put it on a flat surface, give us better configuration. So here you are standing up, and of course standing sideways, or pop socket style. Works both on the S22 Ultra and the S22. Now, lastly, they only sent me this one for the S22. This is the neon case. This obviously looks very different than the other ones. Very easy installation. It is a two-piece case, so you notice that there is a little bit of a separation there, but it looks really good. We have some standoffs here on the back to be able to give us better control. It actually does have very nice grips on the side, volume rocker, power button configuration there. Opening at the top, opening at the bottom, everything. There's no gaskets on this one. And of course, a raised option here on the back for the lenses, as well as on the front. So again, works great with a glass protector. I always want to make sure when people buy cases that it actually does support the glass protectors that you guys get. And wireless charging works perfectly great. And again, as I mentioned, works great with the glass protector. The next thing we're going to take a look at are made by Mac Glass. These are meant to be tempered glass screen protectors. Now, there's a couple of options here. There's the one that basically says tempered screen guard, lens guard, as well as the front. So front-facing display cover as well as the back, and they're both made out of glass. We also have another one that's made basically specifically for the front for blue light. So screen guard directly for the display, and we have one available for both the S22 Ultra, S22, and S22 Plus. The biggest difference when we start looking at some of the options that we get in here, let's go ahead and open this box out, is the installation mechanism here is absolutely one of the easiest installs you can ever do. Remove the actual casing on the back, of course, read the instruction, and essentially the installation is very simple. You put your device directly in the case. So this one is the S22 Ultra. There is an alignment directly right there for your device. You put that in there, and of course, follow the instructions in here. Of course, just peel, and then apply the pressure as you're peeling, and then of course, it'll just permeate through. Unfortunately, it's not recommended to do it on top of another screen protector, so I will say this much, that I have used this one in the past, and it is definitely very nice. It is full adhesive, it is a glass protector, and again, you have a few options there you have available for you there. There are included materials in here to keep the device clean, instructions as well as video to be able to follow, to be able to get those installed. Cleaning materials, camera lens protectors are also very nice, and we'll go ahead and take this one up in the back. And one thing you'll notice that it is actually absolutely very thin and very clear. So for this one, what I'll probably end up doing is this. This one is made directly from Whitestone Dome Glass. It works perfectly there. I'm just going to remove this one. As you can see, it is very similar to what this one is. The only difference is this one actually blacks out everything, so I want to be able to enjoy the backing in here. So I'm going to remove this one there, and let's go ahead and apply this one right in front of everybody else here. And the main thing that you want to do is obviously make sure that it is absolutely clean, that there is no dust, because any kind of dust or any kind of elements that go right on top of it could potentially just make it so that the adhesive doesn't stay on that well. And there you have it. Once you have it on, it actually does kind of slightly change the tone of color on the back, but overall definitely looks really nice. So let's go ahead and open it up, launch the camera application, and actually we're on camera sensors, so let's go ahead and do this, and let's do that. Nope, no impact, no coverage, no issues at all. So the main benefit here is not only is it see-through, you get to enjoy the color of your phone, but it also provides you glass protection on the back. Again, their solution also includes the installation for the glass on the front. Now, the second kit included a glass or a blue light filter directly for our device. The one thing I will say that this one is not intended to be full adhesive, so you'll notice the overall rim around the top. There is a glass protector here, but you notice I think the adhesive is all sitting on the edges. So just one thing to keep in mind. This style is a little bit different, and it does have an opening, a specific opening for the fingerprint sensor. So you'll notice right there where this one will actually end up sticking to the actual display. So this is again where it sits. If you need something with blue light filter technology, this is definitely something you can. A lot of smartphones on the market now do offer those blue light protection as part of the actual device. So just be careful and double check that and make sure that your phone is either does support it. If not, there are some options on the market. Now we're taking a look at the encased collection. We have a few options here, both for the S22 and the S22 Ultra. We have a soft, thin design cases that are here on the left. We have a ruggedized case with a kickstand in here. We also have the ability of using these more ruggedized cases for both the S22 and as well as the S22 Ultra. Last but not least, we have a few color options here that provide us a slight selection, so a purple and a black one, but again, providing us similar experiences. Let's go ahead and start off with the more of a soft, thin design cases that we have in here. Now, we'll notice that both cases are definitely very nice. They have that nice little look of a textured material, although it does feel very soft on the back. They do protect the case, the cameras on the back. They're both a little bit raised on the back, covered on both the volume rocker, power button, openings for the microphones at the top. Now on the bottom we have an opening, an extra one for the S22 Ultra since we have the S Pen, but otherwise we have an opening for the microphones, of course, the USB-C, and the bottom firing speaker. No question, wireless charging is going to be absolutely fantastic here and work great for us. Let's go ahead and put that on there. I'll give it a second. And we see it works perfectly fine. These are thinner styled cases, but still provide us the protection. It definitely works with the lip at the front, and of course it works with glass protectors. The next two cases are pretty straightforward. They are two separate pieces. These are the Falcon cases. Now, one does come with a kickstand, and this one does not come with it, and they do provide us obviously two cases, so they're available for different sizes. The big thing I would probably say is make sure you just basically align the earpiece, which that has that little lip at the top, so you put that on top of the phone here and you just enclose your device, and that actually does sit very nicely on top of the phone. The opening here for the earpiece works really nice, and of course it has a slight little opening here for the microphone, so you can see it right there. The case fits it perfectly fine, and then once you insert it, go all the way in and make sure you close all of the gaps on the side. So you basically want to kind of almost enclose it on the side. You'll notice right there. So very nice, very ruggedized. This is one of their more protective cases that they have. It does provide coverage for the obviously a raised lip around the actual elements. Works great with the glass protector that we installed before. Volume rocker, power button, opening for the microphone. On the bottom, we also have an opening here, so I'll close this, an opening for the USB-C, as well as the microphone on the bottom, and of course the port on the back. Again, if you're recording audio, any sorts on your phone, or even making calls, it shouldn't be a problem for calls, but for recording video, you definitely want to open up both sides so that you get the best audio experience. Wireless charging should not be an issue. These cases are rugged, but they're not super thick, so we'll give it a second there. We should be able to see the wireless charging kick in as we have it right there. So very nice, very ruggedized. And again, it works for both. So here is the one for the S22 Ultra. This one, obviously, you match the earpiece here with the display. You put it on, and then, of course, it snaps on. It provides us the exact same configuration. And then when you insert it, you just put it in at the top, on the side, and you give all of the sides the nice little snug thing. Looks great, works great. And the kickstand here is very much straightforward. Works as a kind of like, again, you can hold it with the phone since it's a larger phone. And of course, you could just set it up down or go sideways for video. Again, I didn't put it down here because I'm going to remove it. We're going to check out these other cases now. In the last two styles that we got, we have a darker color here, a black one and a purple one. One thing I will say, these actually are very hard plastic, so it definitely feels very rugged. I mean, I can't even bend the case itself. It has a lot of resiliency, and it definitely will be very good for your device. Inserting your phone, pretty straightforward. This is a single piece. Let's go ahead and remove that piece there. And then, of course, your phone is encased directly, with no pun intended, inside of the case itself. Of course, here, now with this glass protector, or the protector that we have at the top, you do need to be a little bit more careful. So you insert your phone straight up on the top, and as you're inserting it here, you need to see if it'll actually stretch over. So I'll give it a second to put that down, and unfortunately, it doesn't seem like it's going to work with this one. Maybe other brands will, but on this one, you do need to remove it. It does protect them quite nicely, so you don't really necessarily need it. There is a raised area around the camera lenses, so it's definitely flush on the back of the phone. Volume rocker, power button configuration here, and very much the same experience here on both. Opening for the microphone at the top, and of course on the bottom, because of the S Pen, we have that nice little side opening here. You push it down, and then of course remove with your fingernail. Works really nice. Opening for both the microphone, USB-C, and the bottom firing speaker. And last but not least, of course, two different colors to pick from. Again, very nice, very ruggedized. Wireless charging works perfectly, and again, works great with glass protectors. Last and definitely not least, these are the cases made by Samsung, and then what we get here essentially is a silicone cover. This is going to be more of a just straight up cover that we have. You have a leather cover, an S-View cover, as well as a clear standing cover, protective standing cover, as well as a smart LED cover. The overall experience on all of these cases are pretty much straightforward. These are going to be made specifically for the S22 Ultra. There are other options available for the S21, the S22 and the S22 Plus. The silicone cover works really nice, and I've made a more detailed video on this. This is going to be very much covering there. We are not going to be able to use any kind of protective equipment here. These are intended to be fitted, then they're also provided as a flat experience on the S22 Ultra. The other thing that I also want to mention is that there is a second version of this case that includes a strap. It's also a silicone case, but it is a strap case that you can use. More than likely, you're probably going to like this one more, since that one works a little bit more thinner. If you do want the strap, it'll be available there. The clear case, very straightforward again. A straight case itself, providing us a kickstand, a very nice, very strong kickstand on it. And it allows us to actually enjoy the color of our phone. One thing I will mention is that you'll notice all of these cases are going to be wireless charging compatible. Also, they're all working with the glass protector that I have installed in here. Kickstand is absolutely nice, very strong. You can actually set your phone straight up or set it up sideways for video. It's going to work great. When you're not using it, putting it down. It does add a little bit of a bump, but not enough to perturb the actual usage since it's sitting all the way at the bottom. Now, the standing protective case is actually see-through and it's in blue. Again, provides us more protection for our device. Fits perfectly, has a couple of lanyard options on both the right and on the left. And two options for kickstands, actually, a long one and a short one, depending on your personal preference. So if you want to use it more of an incline, you have the shorter one that kind of tilts it a little bit more. But if you want to use it a little bit more on a higher incline, you can definitely put it this way. They do include replacement pieces here in slightly different color, but you can definitely see, again, it covers everything. No protection is allowed with cases from Samsung because they go a lot more closely to the lens elements than most cases on the market. Every other company that we've seen earlier up to this point always puts a ring around. This one actually goes around the elements. It's perfectly designed for this. And of course, wireless charging, no problem. Now, the last three cases are also very unique. We have a leather case. I got the black one directly from Samsung, soft material on the inside. Again, you'll notice the opening around the lens elements in the back. There's no space for any other protection, but it works great with a glass protector. Very nice, very thin, flat at the top, and of course, this is the leather material. There's a few options of this one as well. All brings everything on the bottom, and it looks just gorgeous. This one actually opens and covers everything, even down to the dual-tone LED flash. You can see here, very, very nice. The next two cases are actually specialty cases. One is the S-View cover, and the other one is... I don't know if to start. This one is harder to take off. Now, the next couple of cases are the S-View and then the LED case. Both of them will require, obviously, the device to be in them for them to work the way they're supposed to. Now, one thing to keep in mind, the opening for the S-View cover here only works on the top right as well as the LED on the top. But one thing to keep in mind is that when you put the actual case all the way open on the other side, that's the reason why the elements is there, is so that it opens up around the glass or the sensors, so you can actually use the cameras when the device is, or when the case is fully opened up. So I'll go ahead and put the case here. I'll close it. Once we do that, automatically opens up here. You're able to swipe through if you have other, like a music player or sorts. On the back, everything is covered perfectly. And of course, if I open it up, it opens up very nicely. And let's go ahead and open up the camera. You can definitely see right there, I'm using it. I'm using the ultra wide and of course telephoto, all of the different lenses, perfectly fine with the case. And of course, everything else works great with it like this. An opening for the earpiece, buttons for the power and the volume rocker, openings at the bottom, wireless charging, of course, looks great. One thing to keep in mind, it is not magnetic, so it does not keep closed. So if you just open it and you're tilting your phone, it's going to open up. But otherwise, it looks really nice. Of course, you can always use it more of a hammock style to be able to kind of set it up to watch movies with it. Or even flat. You can actually just hold it flat like this. So it works really nice. Now, last but definitely not least is the LED case. The LED case has a couple of things that are a little bit different than the rest of these cases. One of them is the fact that it requires an application for you to be able to control this and use the functionalities that come in there. There's a built-in EQ. There's a lot of functionalities built in here. If you are playing music, it's going to jump directly into the music EQ. And of course, it has a nice little pocket here for currency. It doesn't have any issues with the fingerprint sensor, but it also is not magnetic. It does flap and open up. An opening for the earpiece, microphone, of course, full coverage for the back on the sensors, and it is wireless charging compatible. Of course, everything works perfectly clear here. You can actually pull up the S Pen and work with it. Obviously, the S Pen does not work on the case. You do need to open that for that functionality to work. Otherwise, looks really nice, and there is accessory or an option in the settings when you jump in. Under advanced features, you just need to go down to accessories, and then from there on, you'll notice that there is the LED icon editor. You can customize them. These are the preloaded ones that they have, and you can create ones on your own. And of course, assign them to contacts so that whenever you get a call, let's say from TK, your phone will say TK. So it looks really nice. And of course, if I change the volume on here, it'll also kind of adjust it whenever we're playing music. Let me do that real quick for you. So you'll notice right there, the EQ is playing. And then of course, if I change the volume, it actually does show the indicator. So there's a lot of other things that you could do with the LED case. I realize that this is a long video, but my hope is that you found something that actually fits your style. So one of these cases, one of these style of cases, either be it the original cases, the cases from Encased, VRS Design, or even Poetic, or even Intras, hopefully I'm saying that correctly. All of these cases provide us different styles to meet everybody else's expectations. They're great. Wireless charging works on almost everything with the exception of the 3 cases I showed you from VRS Design. And those are the ones that actually have the kickstand as well as having the actual card holder in the back or the card holder and the kickstand at the end. So you're getting a lot of options, but again, thank you very much to all of these companies for sending me these cases. With the exception of the Samsung cases, I did purchase those myself. Like and subscribe as usual. Thank you very much for the support. I'll see you in the next video.